Hello flower friends, welcome back to my demonstration, and this time I wanted to show you how to arrange flowers just into a glass vase. I just wanted to show you some mechanics that helps to keep your flowers in place, but also they enhance your arrangement as well. So I've got a glass vase here, and so it's quite sort of an oval, sort of flattish shape to it, and it does come up sort of slightly higher at one side than the other. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this. This is actually, I just found this in a garage, and it's actually the strimmer cord. So you know the garden strimmers, so this is the cord that they use for that, and I just thought it was quite, it was a lovely colour as well, sort of like a nice bright yellow. And so I'm just going to unravel some of that and cut it off. And I thought this would be quite an interesting use for a mechanic to help hold the flowers in place there. So what I'm going to do is just sort of, I've just got a little sort of twist of the wire, and I'm just going to push that down inside the vase there, and I've got some other pieces that I cut off earlier. So I just thought that looked quite interesting within the vase. It does sort of spring about a bit, and it might sort of pop out the top a touch, but I'm sort of just wedging it down in there. It'll jump around a little bit, so we'll let it settle down, and we'll just add some water in there, and so top the water up. So it looks quite interesting in the vase just to start with. So I've got this lovely yellow colour in there, so I thought I would use sort of flowers to complement the colour of the plant. I'm going to start off with I've got some gorgeous orchids here. These are, I'll just pull a couple out of the bunch to show you. Lovely yellow colour. They're very, very delicate flower, and this one's called Oncidium, and it's known as golden shower orchid. And they, if I just come round the front there, I can probably show you. You can get a close-up of the orchids there. They are lovely, sort of delicate, and they're yellow, and there's just a little touch of sort of burgundy red on there as well. So really very light and delicate looking orchid. So I want one coming in that will sit just down around the sort of top part of the vase there, and then we'll bring another one in, coming in a little bit higher up. So I can use that wire, that sort of cord that's in the vase, just to secure those stems, so it will start to hold them in place. So at the moment I'm just sort of working in on one side of the vase, so we're sort of going a little bit asymmetric to start with. And so I've just used, this is the fifth stem coming in there. So that just gives me a lovely grouping that sort of cascades over ever so slightly to one side. So again, I'm keeping this really simple, but I want it to be simple, but I want it to have lots of impact and be quite effective to go, so that when anybody comes in your home and they know that they're allowed to come in, that they'll sort of really sort of be an eye-catching piece, but actually is quite simple to do. I think you've seen me use these before. These are raffia sleeves, so fan palms, and so I think I'm going to use those on the opposite sort of side of the vase. And what I want to do is just cut them down a little bit. So what I usually do with those is I put the two together, just gather the fronds coming up there, and then take your scissors and just cut straight across like so. So I've just cut straight across there, and that will then give me a smaller fan shape. I'm going to bring that one in there, and then the other one I'm just going to cut down a little more. So I'm going to bunch it up again and probably cut half the length off there. Try and get those in the bin, and so that gives me a smaller fan shape as well. So got those just coming out there. I think I might want to add in one more orchid. Keeping with the yellow colour for now, I'm going to use some of these chaps. This is a quite an unusual flower. It's called Craspedia, and they are the Americans call them billy balls. And they get called drumsticks as well, because obviously they are a little bit like a drumstick with the bobble on the end of the twig there. And they really are a very sort of sturdy flower. You can bang them about a bit and they don't damage at all. These ones, these are the biggest ones I've ever seen actually. They usually come in a little bit smaller than this, but these are beautiful sort of really sort of big flower heads on these. So I think I was just happened to strike lucky with those. So these have come in fresh, but as they dry, as they don't sort of change at all really, and they tend to keep their colour and the shape of the flower, and they may shrink ever so slightly, but as I say, they do keep their shape, they do keep their colour, and so when you've used them, when everything else has died off in the arrangement, you can sort of take these out and keep them, because you can very much so use them again. And so, and again, sort of keeping them over to one side. So I've got the orchids sort of spraying out on one side. I've got the Craspedia to group coming out on the opposite side there. And then a couple of the palms in there, just gives it a little bit more sort of bulk lower down, a bit gives it a little bit of depth. And then I'm going to use a flower in there. I'm going to use some of the orange mini gerbera, grouping those into the middle of the arrangement there. So they've got that sort of bit bolder round shape, so I want that sort of focal line to come through the centre there. And we'll just get another one coming in just a bit lower down, I think will work nicely for me. And so I've got those grouped into the centre there. So again, the design doesn't look heavy, it still looks sort of light, transparent, and I think I'll just go a little bit taller with one coming up there. And again, that wire in the strimmer cord is just holding my flowers beautifully there. And so I've got a nice little grouping of those orange gerberas in the middle. I have used, you can see I've used 4 flowers there, and I've done that on purpose. I know in flower arranging we tend to think about odd numbers of flowers, and I don't know what we've got, 2, 4, 6, yeah, we've got 7 of the billy balls, but I did use 6 orchids in there, so I have used some even numbers as well. We've got 2 of the fan palms, and the thing is, I'm just leaking a bit there. The thing is though, the odd number thing is good as a rule. Sort of if you're a bit unsure about should I have 3 in, should I have 4 in, should I have 5 in, odd numbers tend to look better. But if you're doing a design and it works really well and you think, oh, it's got 2 2s in there and it's working well, just go with it. Go with it. So I've got those coming through, and then I've just got a little bit more of the wire, what the strimmer wire, and all I've done is I've just sort of curled it up and just used a little cable tie just to catch it together in that space. I'm just going to then tuck that in just in front of that bigger leaf at the back there, and just to bring that yellow line coming in just a little bit higher up in the arrangement there, so it just sort of continues the line of the yellow strimmer cord just coming through. And so that is my almost finished design. As I say, I did sort of use 4 of the gerbera, but I just thought, again, sometimes when you're doing an arrangement, you arrange the flowers, and then you've bought them and you've got an odd one left, and you think, oh, I'll put it in because I've bought it, I don't want to waste it. But sometimes it's quite nice to just do your arrangement, get it looking perfect. If you've got the odd flower left over, then why not put it in a separate vase, which is what I've done with my gerbera here. And I've got another little round flat vase there, and it's sort of like a discus shape. And so I've just put a little bit of the yellow wire, yellow strimmer wire in there, and then just cut off one of the gerbera heads just to come down. So that actually then gives me my 5 gerbera in the arrangement, and that is, I've cut the stem off the flower completely, and it just sits inside, and I filled it half full of water so that the gerbera half floats on the top of the water, so it's actually facing you there. And I think that really gives quite a stunning effect. And I think you'll find that when people see this, they'll be more interested in this single one gerbera in that vase than the whole design. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Quite a simple look for you, and hopefully quite easy to do. And again, if you haven't got the strimmer wire, you can use the coloured aluminium wire. It works really well in a vase like this for your mechanics. And I just have a look round. I always say to people, if you're stuck for an idea for your flower arrangements, you want something quirky, always get down to sort of the DIY shops and B&Q and Home Base and places like that, and just have a look around the sort of like the plumbing department, because you can pick up some really interesting little bits and pieces that you can use in your flower designs. So that is my design for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you are inspired to have a go yourself at trying to arrange a few flowers quite interestingly. Thank you.